Hey, what's going on, everybody? UltimatDjz here from the Teaching Trek YouTube channel, the Talking Trek podcast, here to talk to you today about the dvor Feesha, all right? What is going on with it? How do you get it? I know a lot of people know this by now, but there's a lot of people still struggling to get their original dvor tiered up. So there's going to be a couple of tips and tricks here that we're going to share with you and how to use the ship, especially in the early days. One of the big things that we're hearing is, well, golly, the lowest warp system is 38. And the ship starts at 36. Whatever are we to do? Plus, obviously, there's plenty of events this month that are incentivizing you to mine this new concentrated Latinum. So how are we going to use the ship? Well, let's first hop into the game here. By the way, I don't have it yet. I don't have it yet, but I will show you my original dvor. Now, there's a reason that I show you this dvor, okay? It is tier 8. Now, what makes me sick about this is I am 3 components away. As a matter of fact, you can see I got 27,000 parts, so I could knock that one out. That's going to leave me with, or I've got 43,000 parts. That would leave me with, I can't do the math, 16,000 parts, all right? Not enough to do this one, and not enough to do this one. As a matter of fact, if I'm looking, I still need like 70, 80,000 parts. So I might be looking at a couple of different things here in terms of how to get my Feesha quicker than I might do. I need 80,000 parts right here. Now, I am right in the middle of no man's land, okay? I am stuck in a bad spot because if I come over here, this was something that I was recommending to some other players. Take a look here. If you have a naked tier 8, if you've got a naked tier 8, and let's say you got another tier 4, tier 5, okay? If I was looking at this dvor just to go from tier 8 to tier 9, okay, it's 255,000 parts. Now, folks, keep this in mind. There's no research that improves the efficiency of your spend on these parts, okay? For example, if I come down here, and what was one of the ones that I needed to do? I need to do, let's do warp engines. It's calling for 68,500. I come over here to warp engines, 68,500. There is no efficiency in the game for the dvor. So what you see on STFC.space, shout out, is exactly what you're going to need, all right? So I need 255,000 to go from a naked tier 8 all the way to tier 9. Now, if you are looking at a tier 7 or if you're right there at a tier 8, okay, this is what I want to point out to you. This is efficient, okay? 255,000 to go just from 8 to 9, all right? If you wanted to go from 1 to 8, it's literally the same amount of parts, okay? So if you already have a tier 4 or a tier 5, then getting it to 8 is not going to cost as much, 240. That's going to save you a little bit. If you've already got a tier 6, 212. You got a tier 7, only another 170. It kind of depends on where you are within this process because do keep in mind, you can get a full set of blueprints from a tier 9 level 41 scrap. You can get half from a tier 8 level 36 scrap. And you can get 25% of those blueprints from a tier 7 level 31 scrap. So how many dvors do you have? All right, well, where do we get them? All right, first of all, we can check over here in our Armada chest. We do get some in the Armada chest, okay? Right here. Actually, I don't think I get them anymore. I don't. My ops level is a little bit too high, but a lot of you guys have them here. Is it in here? No, didn't think so. Yeah, I'm too high. All right, so you can get dvor BPs in here. Some of you can. All right, some of you can't. So where can those folks get their dvor BPs? Well, come over here to your 30-day chest, and hopefully you've got an opportunity to pick some up in here, okay? You can get 10 every single month. I say every single month because it takes 4 of the loyalty tokens. So every 28 days, you can pick up on another 10 BPs. For those of you who are newer servers, I can understand why this would be a little bit frustrating. Do keep in mind, though, the majority of your server's in the same place as you are, all right? If the age of the server has not allowed you to grow and mature your dvor yet, then everybody's going to be in the same boat as you are. However, I am not in that situation. On a mature server, all right, like server 15, it's been around for 3 years, I have simply just chosen not to engage. So I could build 2 more of these things, and I've got 2 in my dock. So this one is on me, right? This is on me. I never finished the loop, and therefore haven't been able to participate in scrapping and getting my new ship. However, I point out, for me, mathematically, it's probably not going to work out, but I do have another Tier 6 dvor in here. So let's take a look. We already determined that to go from 6 to 8 is 200,000 parts. Well, I don't have that many. I've only got, what did we say? I have only 43,000 parts. I'm in trouble. There's no way I look at this. I'm not doing this month. I'm not going to get this month unless I buy it. All right. And I'm not a huge miner. This is not the pack that I've got my eye on this month. I've got my eye on a few other things, but it's not the Feesha. All right. But it could be for you. What does this ship do? Well, we'll talk about the refinery in a moment, but it is significant, especially for free-to-play, in terms of Latinum. Now, here's one thing that I also wanted to show you. As we scrap and we pick up this Feesha and build it straight out of dock, okay? Right here we go, Tier 1. Now, this is where people have been a little bit fussy. The Tier 1 engine is 36, all right? That's warp range 36. Well, where can we get concentrated Latinum? You guys can find all this stuff, by the way. Just come over to STFC.space. Shout out. All right, let's go to systems, and I'm going to show you. What are you mining here? Well, we're going to scroll down until we find, there it is, concentrated Latinum. Now, this is going to filter out for any system that's going to allow us to mine concentrated Latinum, and as you can see, there's a handful of them. So let's sort this by warp range. All right, and then we are going to sort, right here we go, from top to bottom. So the lowest system that you can get to is warp 38. You see that? Warp 38 is the lowest one you can get to. Now, there's a couple of officers that are going to help with that, right? The first one that comes to mind is Cadet Scotty. Well, 36 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3. It only needs to be a Tier 2 Cadet Scotty to get you into either Sirius, Iapedes, or of Keb, all right? Your level 38s where you can go and start mining concentrated Latinum. So you are going to need to use a warp range officer to get you there. What is another one that you could potentially maybe use? Depending on where you are with your progression of him. He is available in the Syndicate tree, and I, of course, am talking about Grush. Not only does he have a captain's ability that is protected cargo, but he is also going to increase your warp range by 6%. Now, may not be enough, right? I'm only Tier 1, maybe Tier 2 is better. Let's see. Is Tier 1 Grush going to be enough? We'll come back over here to the Feesha. We are warp range 36. So if I take 36 and I multiply that by 1.06, that is 38, folks. You see this here? So a Tier 1 Grush will be able to get you there, okay? And that's probably okay here for the time being because no one's probably got these Ferengi mining officers yet, but that will get you there. Grush will get you to the system where you can start mining this stuff, okay? Now, what is the first thing that we're going to want to do on this ship, in my opinion, is probably, I know I'm making you guys sick scrolling all over the place, okay? Going to Tier 2, the first thing I'm going to want to upgrade is going to be one of two things. Either A, maybe 3. Possibly your cargo bay, maybe. I don't think so. Maybe your mining tools so you can mine it faster, okay? Maybe. Still don't think so. I think it's this one. The warp range, because look here, it's going to get you to 38, Tier 2, and it's the cheapest component of the 3 that are important. You can do weapons, you can do whatever. That stuff's not important for this miner, okay? This is what's important. So if 656 parts are going to get you to the point where you can use a full mining crew with synergy. If you've got the Ferengi officers by then you no longer need a warp range enhancer to get there, okay? Or you could use that warp range enhancer to go to a deeper system. What happens in the deeper systems? The deeper systems are going to, look, 1 warp range higher is going to get you something faster. Let's take a look at Sirius. Concentrated Latinum, the base rate is 50. The supernodes are 100, all right? Just by stepping up that 1 spot in warp range, it's going to pick you up 50 by 3 or 6 on a supernode. Now, what is that extra 3 going to do? Well, it's It's actually somewhat significant, okay? Because we come back over here to the Feesha, and we take a look at Tier 1, Level 5, which is where we're going to be. It's a 37,800% boost to mining speed, all right? If you took no other mining bonuses in the game at all, all right, none whatsoever, we're going to do 50 times 1 plus 378.64. So we're going to do 379.64. And this is assuming, folks, that you're not using any officers to boost mining speed. It's going to get you up to 19,000, all right? 19,000. Now, if we do, you know what, here, let's do it this way. 3 was the difference times 379.64. This is the difference, okay? Moving up that 1 tier is going to help you mine about 1,100 faster. Doesn't feel like a lot, but at this point, you're trying to get as much of this as you can. You might be competing in a solo leaderboard, you might be competing in an alliance leaderboard, or you just might be mining enough to get your double refines, okay? And that will be important to help you get the parts for this thing to upgrade it, because after all, we can see just to go to Tier 2, let me come back over here, just to go to Tier 2, it's going to cost a total of 3,500 parts. How quickly can you get it? Well, let's also thank STFC.space and thank Criminal Ripper for supplying us the data for this wonderful chart. Now, I'm going to start here with the original. Actually, you know what? We'll come down. Here's the dvor Feesha Latinum Refinery, okay? And maybe I'll turn off the cat here in a minute, or I'll just make the chart available. But here's what we're looking at here at the early tiers. All right, if you've got a Tier 1 ship, it's going to cost you 50,000 concentrated Latinum or 100,000 concentrated Latinum. You're going to get 1,000 Latinum per chest payout, so that's a potential of 2,000 Latinum. But you look here, the parts are low. We need 3,500. 3,500 parts to get this thing to Tier 2, okay? Let's assume that we're going to go middle of the road here, okay? Let's assume that our average is 50 per refine. So that means that I'm going to say an average of 100 parts a day. We need 3,500. It's going to take you approximately 35 days through a natural progression, 35 days just to get to Tier 2. Like I said, this is not going to be a quick path, okay? At least not initially. I do expect to see other things like we've seen with the original dvor Latinum Refinery, because what happened to change it? We got the Prime dvor Latinum Refinery, okay? Where you got to save 25% of cost and you got to increase your payouts by 50%, okay? Do I expect that to come around? Yeah, kind of do. Do I expect a skin? Do I expect extra refines? Any of that stuff is possible, okay? But I do expect that over time, as we've talked about, this may get a little bit easier. But originally, it's going to be a tough little grind. Here is the chart you can see, all right? I'm going to turn off the cat. I'm going to turn off the logo, and that way you guys can get a good full look. Now, do keep in mind, let's take a look here at Tier 12. There's 4 different Tier 12 refineries, all right, for those of you way down the road, okay? And I don't even have data for all of them yet. We weren't able to get it. Ripper and I dug, and we weren't able to find it. So here's what I'm going to tell you here so far. At Tier 12, we do have the Latinum Refinery. We don't know what the parts refinery is at Tier 12 yet, okay? We're still trying to dig that out. However, there is also a breakpoint, okay? We know that to get to Tier 12, you have to be Ops 51 at the minimum. But at Ops 56, this refinery gets another improvement, okay? And what we do know is that the 56 plus Tier 12 refinery has the same cost. So it's still $750,000 for a single chest or $1.5 million for a double chest. And we know that the Latinum payout increases from 55 to 56 by 5,000 Latinum per chest, meaning that you could get up to 40,000 Latinum per day. At 56 plus, you're at 30,000 Latinum. At 55 through 51, okay, at a tier 12. But again, we do not know what the 56 plus parts refinery looks like just yet, so we're still trying to figure that out. Now, you can see here how it scales up. We know that you are ops locked to tier 4 until you get to ops 41. So you'll look here, 1,000, 1150, 14, that's all good. You see a nice jump right here, going to level going to 3,500 Latinum. And again, this is per chest, folks, per chest. So you're looking at these numbers. Hopefully, you're doubling them, all right? 2,000 Latinum here, 2,300 Latinum, 28, 3,300, 7,000. Once you hit Ops 41, you can see those steadily increasing, all right? Tier 9 is your next lock, right? Until through Ops 50. When you get to Ops 51, another nice big jump from 55 to 11.5, okay? Those are jumps. And again, per chest. So if you're doing 2, you're pulling double. Now, we talked earlier very briefly about maybe scrapping 2 tier 8s or a tier 8 and 2 tier 7s. There is a risk to that, okay? There is a risk to that. Now, if you're holding 200 million Latinum, then this part doesn't apply to you, okay? If you're holding 200 million Latinum, then you can continue to refine this stuff, all right? Taking a look inside the game at your Latinum Refinery. If you come over here to the Refine button, click over here to the tab, all right, you've got still your normal Latinum Refinery and the concentrated Latinum Refinery, folks. You've got them both, all right? So coming back over here to the chart, whatever you've got, if you don't have the Prime, these are your payouts. Again, you can double these if you're doing the 2 chests, which most people are doing, all right? So you could get 1,000 Latinum right now off a double refine if you don't have the Prime. If you did have the Prime, you can get 1,500 Latinum per day, all right? And even out of the box, if you can do a double refine, then it's 2,000 Latinum. Now, what's beautiful is I can take the Feesha refinery and add it to whatever refinery I have up here. So if I've got the Prime, there's 1,500 plus 2,000. Now I'm at 3,500 per day. If I don't have the Prime, there's 1,000 and 2,000. I'm getting 3,000 instead of 1,000. You get to keep both. Now, that means that you should probably preserve a way to mine original Latinum, all right? Because of the research that was introduced here a while back, the tier of your refinery doesn't matter a super huge deal when you're talking about mining speed of original Latinum. So if you got a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, not the end of the world. You can use that to mine, all right? But if you've got 200 million, 100 million, 50 million Latinum, I mean, look how long that's going to last you. All right, you can continue to earn parts without even having to mine that stuff for a little while. You can continue to get these parts and invest and upgrade your secondary or tertiary or even your 4th or 5th dvor. All right, if you've scrapped others to get your Feesha, you can continue to upgrade these so that you can be competitive in future solo leaderboards and continue to have enough raw Latinum to get these Latinum payouts. All right, now granted, these are a little bit smaller to an Ops 50. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm here to tell you, for me and most free-to-play out there, you're probably going to enjoy both sources of Latinum. Why wouldn't you? It is free. All right, it's free Latinum. So this is an opportunity for you to use both refineries to your advantage and get more. All right, you can get more parts to upgrade the others, but as you can see here, it is going to be a slow road on upgrading this Feesha unless you're willing to spend some money on it, all right? But that is the Feesha at a glance, okay? Coming back over here, I want to come back to, for example, getting it to tier 3. Now you're up to 5,500 parts, all right? When you're at tier 2 working on tier 3, we could probably say that the average is maybe 110, 115, maybe 120 is what you could hope for, all right? Probably 110. You take a look at 5,500. And we're going to divide that by 110. Actually, we're going to do it by 220 because I'm going to do a double refine. So 5,500 divided by 220. That's another 25 days potentially to get up to tier 3. Was I using the right refinery? Yeah, I guess I was. All right, so it looks a little bit better there at... I'm not even looking. See, I was looking at the original dvor. Silly kitty cat. Yeah, no, that's terrible. 65 I think 65 would probably be the average. So let's now redo that. 5,500 divided by 65 times 2, because I'm going to do double refines. That's 130. Yay, for 42 more days just to get to tier 3. We are now at 77 days-ish without any accelerants, without any rewards or this or that, which I do expect some of. But it's still going to be a long road, all right? So players working towards this, here's your chart. Here's where you know we've got this chart available in the graphics room of our Discord, and we might even throw it up on our website as well for you guys, okay? There you go. That is the Feesha at a glance. And, of course, also pointing out here that your Tier 3 is going to get you to Warp 42, coming back over to the systems super quick. That is going to open up another 3, actually, no, only another 1 system for you. There's only 1 more systems. You got 3 at 38, you got 2 at 39, 1 more at 40. So it's going to be tight quarters in these 6 systems here for just a little bit. I might even imagine that it's going to get a little bit grumpy and a little bit crowded and congested. So, fun times for dvor PvP. There you go, folks. That's the Feesha, okay? Your first glance, your inside look, some of the math, some of the analytics, how to get it, how to use it, and so forth and so on. We will talk about officers a little bit later. Most of us probably don't have them yet, but they will be good. Arok, man, he is going to be fantastic on this ship, and the synergy that he can get from Quark and Fess is absolutely going to be worth it. We'll talk about the use of those officers a little bit later. But in the meantime, there you go. First look, Feesha deep dive. All right. My name is UltimatDjz. If you've got questions, leave them in the section below the video. Comments, we'll answer those as well. Please be sure to engage with us so that we can engage back. Share it with your team. Let them take a look so that they know how to use this ship. And of course, we ask all of you while you're here to subscribe to our channel. Click on the bell so you know when we do more videos. We've got more to come. We've got a territory capture video coming up and also a town hall with Storm, an alliance that we spent a little bit of time with teaching about crewing, Armada crewing, PvP. That might be a little bit of fun. We'll release that out there for you. That's coming up here in the next couple of days as well. So if you click the bell, you'll know when stuff is coming out. Give us a big old like you like by smashing that thumbs up, and we thank you. Also, be sure to consider joining our membership program. There's a button down there where you can join our Gold Patron program for as little as $5 a month. You can support the channel and everything that happens here. Again, my name is UltimatDjz from the Talking Trek podcast here on a Teaching Trek YouTube. We thank you. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now here for Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. See you, everybody. Love you. Good night. Bye. Meow. See ya. Meow.